André Rieu is known around the world as the man who turned classical music into a global celebration. With his flowing hair, elegant tuxedo, and violin always in hand, he looks like someone who has lived a dream life filled with applause, standing ovations, and sold-out arenas. But behind the joyful melodies and smiling performances lies a story that is far more complicated, and far more painful, than most fans ever realized. Rieu was born in 1949 in Maastricht, Netherlands, into a musical family. His father was a conductor, and music surrounded him from an early age. From the outside, it seemed like destiny. But that early pressure also meant expectations. André wasn't just encouraged to succeed, he was expected to. Music wasn't a hobby. It was a responsibility. As his career grew, so did his ambition. André Rieu didn't just want to perform classical music, he wanted to reinvent it. He dreamed of massive orchestras, elaborate costumes, international tours, and productions that felt more like fairy tales than concerts. And for a while, it worked. The audiences came. The fame exploded. But the cost of that dream was far higher than anyone imagined. Behind the scenes, Rieu took enormous financial risks to keep his vision alive. He personally financed tours, sets, costumes, and musicians on a scale rarely seen in classical music. When the global financial crisis hit in the late 2000s, those risks came crashing down. Concerts were cancelled. Expenses piled up. Suddenly, the man who looked like classical music royalty was drowning in debt. At one point, André Rieu reportedly faced tens of millions of dollars in financial losses. The pressure was relentless. He wasn't just responsible for himself, but for hundreds of orchestra members and crew who depended on him. Sleep became rare. Stress became constant. The joy he once felt on stage slowly turned into survival mode. Then came the toll on his health. Years of non-stop touring, anxiety, and exhaustion began to show. Rieu has openly spoken about serious health struggles, including infections that forced him to cancel performances, something that devastated him deeply. For a performer whose identity was built on being on stage, being forced to stop felt like losing a part of himself. But perhaps the saddest part of André Rieu's story isn't the money or the illness, it's the emotional weight of always having to smile. Night after night, he stepped on stage, lifted his violin, and made millions feel happiness, romance, and nostalgia. Meanwhile, behind the curtain, he carried fear, responsibility, and the constant worry of failure. The audience saw magic. They never saw the man wondering if everything he built might collapse. Even today, André Rieu continues to perform, but with a quieter perspective. He has admitted that success didn't bring the peace he once expected. The pressure to maintain an empire nearly destroyed the very love for music that started it all. And that's the real tragedy. Not that André Rieu failed, but that a man who dedicated his life to bringing joy to others had to endure so much pain in silence. His story is a reminder that fame doesn't protect you from fear, money doesn't guarantee peace, and even the most beautiful music can hide a heavy heart. Behind every standing ovation is a human being. And André Rieu's story proves that sometimes, the saddest struggles are carried by the people who make the world smile the most.